Mother-in-law got in dear daughter's bed, naked. Going to try to make this as short as possible. So toxic mother-in-law wanted to visit next month, April, so we agreed. She's been visiting all of her kids since lovable father-in-law passed away 2 years ago. Toxic mother-in-law shows up at 5 in the damn morning today. Imagine our confusion when this lady pops up on our doorstep before sunrise. Dear husband and I are not morning people. I don't mind getting up early sometimes. We waltz to the door, open it, and this half-drunk 60-year-old woman yells surprise as if this were something to be happy about. Mother-in-law, are you drunk? I had to ask. She denies, saying alcohol spilled on her during the flight, yet the smell is on her breath. So where's dear daughter? She asked like we really want to start a conversation at 5 in the damn morning. We tell her she's sleeping. She wants to wake her up to say hi, like that makes the least bit of sense. We tell her flat out no. She tries to argue, but waking a teenager up in the morning is not what I want to deal with. Finally she lets it go, saying she's going to go to the guest bedroom, shower, and get a bit of rest. I'm totally okay with this. We carry her 2 suitcases to the guest room, and call it a night, or morning. Seriously though, who needs that much crap to spend a few days out of town? I wish this is where I can say it ended, but no. Maybe after 30 minutes of tossing and turning because I can never seem to go back to sleep once I'm up, dear daughter screams. Dear husband and I race to her room, and what the F do we see? A naked mother-in-law in dear daughter's bed? I ask her what the hell is she doing, and she claims to have confused the guest bedroom with dear daughter's, even though they're not even on the same floor. Dear daughter is going out of her mind. I would too if my naked grandmother had tried to lay beside me. She claims it was an accident, which I still don't buy. Dear daughter was not having any of it. Neither was I. She wraps back in her towel, and goes to get dressed. Lady wasn't even here a day, and has already started some crap. Also, I didn't think something like this was sexual assault. That is on me. I get it, but I understand that now. Dear daughter does have a lock on her door. In no way did she say she felt unsafe. I told dear husband she should leave, but he is adamant she stays because of the weather, and this lady can get him to do whatever he wants. I'll take dear daughter to the police station, and file a report, but chances are it won't get anywhere because dear husband would most likely tell me I'm overreacting. Okay, for those saying, if it were a man would I let it go like I did with her? I didn't just let it freaking go. I tried to tell dear husband she should leave. She guilt-tripped him into staying. What the F am I supposed to do when he hardly ever listens to me when it comes down to her? Also, I can't leave. Dear husband won't allow it. I did think about the safety of my daughter, still am. I'd leave if I had a choice. He'd be beyond angry if he found out I was trying to leave. Also, my dear daughter is safe. She knows this. She'd tell me otherwise. I'm going to take her to the police station today. I will keep my child safe regardless. So, please understand that I am trying my best to continue be a good parent. There's no way in hell I'd ever let anything happen to her. I didn't put the woman out because dear husband let her stay. If I had a choice, mother-in-law would be out, and gone within the hour. Toxic mother-in-law called me a bitch, and got angry that dear husband and I had plans on my birthday. Trigger warning, neglect. I want to preface this by saying it's all happened within the last 24 hours. It's dealt with, and I just need to get this off my chest, rant a bit, and then move forward. I don't talk to my birth family because of a long and complicated 18 years, but without going into a lot of detail, up until I was 8 I never celebrated my birthday. When I was 7 this new girl transferred into my school. We shared a birthday, and every time she had a birthday her mother would send her to school with a cupcake. When we turned 8 she found out it was also my birthday, and split it in half for us to share. Every year after that she would bring 2. She would give me 1 at lunch, and that was my celebration from ages 8 to 16. She left school at 16, and I went to college while she worked full-time, and we eventually drifted apart. But when I left school, and moved out, I kept track of my birthdays. Every 4th October, like clockwork, I would buy myself a cupcake, and that would be my celebration each year. And to this day, although I'm now 30, and married, I still do this. Dear husband goes all out every year for my birthday, even before we got together when we were still just friends. He cooks or takes me somewhere nice, and gets me flowers, and goes to every possible length to show me how much he loves, and appreciates me, and whatever he does always culminates with a cupcake. Then yesterday, October 4th, I turned 30. Hooray for milestones. Dear husband bought me roses, made reservations at a local restaurant I've been dying to try, and we had a walk along the beach before heading home for a selection of old musicals, and cupcakes. We have a landline, because we're old. It rang, so dear husband muted it at the speaker. The only people who call it are our parents. I ignore mine, and work, and it wasn't a work number. This morning I checked it. The voicemail had gone from empty to full overnight. All from toxic mother-in-law, all made within a few hours of each other, all getting angrier and angrier. Before you read these, you should know that dear husband is 32, and moved out at 19, but still goes to Friday night dinners with his family to see lovable father-in-law, and his JY siblings. Hey, sweetie, it's Friday night dinner, where are you? I know you said you made plans, but that shouldn't stop you from seeing your mother. Where are you? Call me. You know what my nerves are like, check in so I know you're alright. A cupcake is not a plan. You're ignoring your own mother so you can eat cupcakes? I don't care what that swine wants. When your mother calls you, you answer. I didn't get to hear the rest of the messages, because while they were playing dear husband moved past me, unplugged the phone from the wall, and put everything away in a nearby box. He then reads aloud while he wrote out a text. Dear toxic mother-in-law, I don't appreciate you leaving OP and myself abusive voicemails the day after her birthday. I made clear what our plans were, and I am an adult. There is no reason I should have to check in with you 24/7. I have attended every Friday night dinner since moving out in order to stay in touch with lovable father-in-law and JY siblings, but after hearing what you called OP, I think it might be best for me to stay in touch with them separately. I love you, but I value myself and OP more, and neither of us deserve to be screamed at over voicemail because you expect a married 32-year-old to not have plans on his wife's birthday. I am going to block your number, and want you to consider this an official timeout. Do not contact me. I will contact you when I am ready. Respect these boundaries, as if you try to contact me or OP before then, your timeout will become permanent. We have no idea if she contacted him after that, because, true to his word, he sent it, and then blocked her number. Then I blocked her number. The siblings and lovable father-in-law are probably getting the brunt of it, but they've been telling us for a while now that if we wanted to go and see we can, as she's never liked me. We're thinking of starting a Saturday night dinner for the Just Yes in-laws. I just needed to get this off my chest, have a little rant, and say that I'm just so ridiculously proud of dear husband, and his shiny steel spine. Intro, and help. She cut my hair while I was asleep. Frankly, I am lost. My just no mill is mental, completely mental. She has always treated me like crap. My future dear husband tries his best. His spine is shiny, but it has zero impact. I can't go into the details of the distant past because I would be here forever. So let us go with the latest situation. Future dear husband and I are getting married in October. Future mother-in-law has been difficult from day one, trying to organize my wedding to what she wants. I have done my best setting boundaries, but it all came to a head, no pun intended, yesterday. She dropped by uninvited. I was tired from work, like really tired. I tried to put her off, but she barged in. Future dear husband was due home in about 20 minutes. Now, I wanted long hair for my wedding. I always have. Maybe I am old-fashioned, but it's my choice. I have tried really hard, and it was down to my shoulder blades. Keyword is was. I was dumb enough to doze off while future mother-in-law was in the house. She was messing around in the kitchen. Next thing I know, something had grabbed a huge chunk of hair, and snip. It's been cut off on level with my head. Stubble length, and there she was, looming over me with a twisted smile, and a pair of scissors. A hunk of hair in her hand. I lost it. I shoved and I pushed her till she was out of my damn house, flat on her ass in my drive before I slammed the door. Call future dear husband in a complete fit. He calls her, and demands to know what the hell she was thinking. Her words? She is a dyke inside. I was just showing you the truth. My mother-in-law tried to sell my deceased parents' belongings at a garage sale without telling me. So, here's the deal guys. My boyfriend, 39, M, and I, 34, F, have been together for 12 years. When we first got together, we knew immediately we had something special. However, I was working full-time, going to school full-time, and working a part-time gig. So, the idea of marriage was a distant one. At least until I finished my education, started a career, and obtained more than 4 hours of sleep at night. Oh, but what's that saying again? Life happens when you're busy making plans. Welp. In 2011, my dad suddenly passed away. My mom's broken heart followed him a few years later. They were married for 46 years, and both of them passed away young and sudden. They were only in their early 60s. Long story short, I had to quickly have an estate sale on my parents'/childhood home in order to pay for their services. The quickness of everything combined by the shock and grief of things made me feel like a fire had broken out. I felt as if I had to just grab a few little sentimental things and get on with my life. So I did. My boyfriend's parents came on the day of the estate sale. I truly thought it was for support, but I learned the only reason they came was to get cheap stuff. I honestly don't blame them for coming for cheap stuff. Home tools, yard tools are expensive. But my problem arises when my boyfriend's parents wanted my deceased mom and dad's big-ticket items for free. Freaking cars, major appliances, sleep number bed, crap like that. Like dude, come on. My boyfriend's parents are cheap, period. No way around that. I get it. Long story short, I found my mother-in-law selling my dead parents' possessions at a garage sale that I was not supposed to attend. Yay in-laws. So, here is the real justification for my anger. Also, it's difficult for me to describe what happens next because it truly showcases my ugliest side. But, by popular demand, here we go. Basically, my in-laws attend the estate sale. I had to sell my parents' stuff in order to get the house on the market. They received some big-ticket items for free. One day, I pulled up to my in-laws' house to see they were having a garage sale. The first thing I saw was my mom's motorized scooter with a $300 price tag on it. After looking around, I noticed even more of my parents' items for sale. Old recipe books, my dad's teeter hang-up, and various other small things that may mean nothing to most people. But to me, these items are legit the only things I have left from my parents. I totally lost my crap, you guys. I pulled the price tag off the scooter, walked up to my mother-in-law, in front of customers, her husband, my boyfriend, and everyone, and said, "When in the F were you gonna tell me that you decided to sell my dead parents' crap for your own profit?" The look on her face was pure shock. She ignorantly replied with, "Well, I was only going to keep 1/3 of the profit. I was gonna give you whatever money was left over," which I'm sure is probably true. I totally believe her that she was going to give me whatever money was left over. But what pissed me off was the fact that her cheap ass had absolutely no idea the moral boundaries she was crossing. I looked at my boyfriend, who was just standing there, watching silently as all of this was unfolding around him. I looked back at my mother-in-law, and told her, "The very least you could have done is given me a heads up. If you were planning on selling my family's items, I could have at least contacted my living relatives to see if they wanted to take these things before you decided to make a buck off them." I announced, "This garage sale is closed. Everybody leave, and get the F out of my face." My mother-in-law was like, "You're being silly, you don't have to close the garage sale." I took one look at her, and everyone walked away. I proceeded to take everything I found of mine or my parents' things off the tables, and I haven't spoken a word to my boyfriend's mom since. That was about a month ago. I know hate is a strong word, but I really think I hate my mother-in-law. She's so ignorant, and so cheap. I can't handle it. I know I behaved poorly, but I believe the severity of the situation called for a heavy dose of vulgarity and anger in order to get through to her thick skull. I laid into my boyfriend pretty well also for not chiming up and saying anything when I was on my rant. I spent the next couple of weekends at my sister's house, and I'm still questioning my relationship. I just don't think I can spend a future with someone all while completely despising their mother. I know my worth. At least I think I do. Now I just have to have the balls, and do what's right for everyone, and leave. Thanks for hearing me out, guys, and thanks for letting me show you my deepest, ugliest side. I hope your lives are going better than mine right now. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories delivered to you. Thanks for listening. See you later.